What's the worst part about dragging yourself out of bed for a bathroom run in the middle of the night? Stubbing your toe? Banging your knee? Well, when I was a kid growing up, those were the least of my worries. The real nightmare wasn't the dark, it was what was lurking on the floor beneath you. Here's my story. Let me set the scene of our house. 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 6 people. No shower, you could only take a bath. And it was heated by a wood-burning furnace, which was a lot of extra work. My parents had the main floor bedroom. The rest of us kids, we were crammed upstairs. This meant that if you had to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, you had to make the perilous stairway descent. Sounds simple, right? Anything but. The upstairs floor, slippery linoleum, which somebody would periodically spray with lemon pledge to make it extra slippery. I wonder who that was. The staircase itself, a polished wooden death trap. Always slippery. But the real horror was the landing at the top of the stairs. For some reason, all the flies in our house would gather in the window at the top of the stairs at that landing. During the day, they would just buzz around in the window. Not a care in the world. But here's where it gets nasty. When there were a lot of flies, we would put one of those gross, sticky fly strips in the window. You know the ones. They get all icky with dead and half-dead flies. The half-dead flies buzz and buzz and buzz, stuck to the strip, but still alive as they gasp their final breaths. And we would leave it hanging for weeks to get as many flies as we could. But not all the flies had the courtesy to die on the fly strip. By nighttime, many of the flies would simply die and fall to the floor beneath the window. And some of them would even tumble down the first couple stairs. The result is that the landing beneath the window and the top half of the stairway would be covered with dead fly bodies. Now during the day, we just stepped over the bodies. It was no big deal. Nobody thought to sweep them up. We were just kids. Now imagine, if you will, 4 kids just casually stepping over dead fly bodies on their way to and from their bedrooms. We didn't care. It was just a normal day. They were always there. But at night, it was a different story. When you woke up in the middle of the night needing to go to the bathroom, it was pitch black. There were no nightlights. There were no cell phones with lights to guide your way. It was just you, your half-asleep brain, and a minefield of dead fly bodies between you and the bathroom. And if you misstepped, crunch. It was a brittle, sickening pop as your bare foot stepped on the dead fly body. Gross. Because of course, we didn't have slippers. We were raw dogging it. If you misstepped, barefoot to dead fly body. And if you really screwed up, you'd get multiple crunches in a row. The sensation of stepping on a dead fly with a bare foot still haunts me to this day. If you survived the landing, you still had to descend down the first half of the stairways, which was littered with dead fly bodies. And then relief, you made it to the bathroom, turned on the lights, and did your business. But when you headed back up the stairs, that's when you realized that you really screwed up. Because you had turned on the light, your night vision was gone. So now you're twice as blind, praying and hoping that you don't step on even more flies on the way back up. And when you make it back to your bed, you have to remember to brush the dead fly bodies off the bottom of your feet so that you don't get your bed all dirty. Now looking back, I'm not sure why we never thought of sweeping them up. It would have been an easy thing to do. We wouldn't have even had to pick them up. But I guess for us, it was more exciting to walk the minefield of flies. I don't know why. But one thing's for sure, even though I'm growing up, I still remember that sickening sensation, and I always check the floor for fly bodies when I'm going to the bathroom in the middle of the night, sometimes twice. Do you have a funny fly story? If so, I'd love to hear about it. Drop it in the comments below. Hit the thumb, hit the bell, subscribe, and as always, sincerely, thank you for watching.